It would not. Not because something extraordinary happened, but because nothing did. This was one of those mornings. Somewhere over the heart of a city that never truly slept, the sun rose the way it always had, slow, golden, indifferent. Its light spilled across glass towers and crowded sidewalks, warming the shoulders of 10 million people who had absolutely no idea this would be the last ordinary day of their lives. The coffee shops were full, the trains were running late. Children argued over window seats on school buses. A street musician played something soft near the fountain in Central Plaza, and for a few passing strangers they actually stopped to listen, like something ancient deciding it is finally time to begin. The sky simply breaks. It begins small, a flicker at the edge of the horizon, like a monitor losing signal. A shimmer, a stutter, easy to dismiss as a trick of the light if the light itself weren't starting to behave wrong. Then the glitches spread, rippling outward like cracks across a shattered screen. The atmosphere fractures in ways the human eye was never meant to process. Colors bleed into each other, then split apart. Blue tears through orange. White consumes gold. The warm morning that cradled the city just moments ago drains away, pulled like color from a wound. And then it appears, vast, luminous, impossible, as if it was giving humanity exactly one breath to comprehend what was coming. No flicker, no hesitation, just absolute, terrifying certainty. Across the entire sky, in letters so massive they could be read from every corner of the city, the message burned itself into existence. Scenario 1. Survive. That was it. 2 words. Nothing more. No instructions, no countdown explanation, no government broadcast cutting in with reassurance. No scientist on television offering a rational framework. No voice of authority promising that everything would be handled. Just those 2 words, hanging above millions of people like a sentence handed down by something incomprehensibly vast and completely indifferent. The city went silent. Not the comfortable silence of early morning, not the peaceful quiet between moments. They are wounds, deep, impossible wounds cut directly into the world humanity once believed was permanent. One scream becomes 1,000. People freeze mid-step. Coffee cups slipping from trembling hands, shattering against pavement that suddenly feels like it might give way beneath their feet. Emergency alerts blast across every phone simultaneously, urgent, blaring, completely useless. No instructions, no answers, just noise drowning out the sound of a world coming apart. Drivers abandon their cars in the middle of intersections. Children are swept up by strangers running in opposite directions. Nobody knows where safety is anymore because safety no longer exists. The system interface pulses once, cold, mechanical, indifferent, and a countdown begins. These were conquerors, and humanity had never seen anything like them. From the swirling depths of those torn portals, they poured through like a dam finally breaking, unstoppable, endless, and utterly terrifying. The first creature to emerge stood nearly 30 meters tall. Its skin was pure obsidian, layered like ancient armor, forged in some forgotten hellfire. Each step it took shattered concrete like dry clay, sending shockwaves rippling through entire city blocks. Behind it came others. Creatures with hollow eyes burning like dying stars, their gaze cutting through smoke and steel alike. Then the winged horrors rose, massive silhouettes spreading across the already fractured sky, blotting out the last traces of morning light entirely. The city that had been breathing just minutes ago now groaned beneath their weight. Buildings cracked, roads split open, glass rained down like silver snow across empty streets. They were never the hunters in this scenario. Armored columns thundered through abandoned streets, soldiers pouring from transports with weapons raised and orders barked with desperate authority. Helicopters swept low, searchlights cutting through the smoke. For one breathless moment, it felt like humanity could push back. Missiles found their marks. Gunfire tore through the air in relentless waves. The line held, barely, beautifully, impossibly. Then the creatures simply stopped dying. They absorbed the punishment, shifted, adapted, and turned. What followed was not a battle. It was erasure. A main battle tank weighing 60 tons crumpled beneath a single clawed strike like an empty tin can. The monsters own the streets above, but down here, humanity still breathes. Across the shattered city, something quietly remarkable begins to happen. Strangers, bleeding and terrified, reach for each other in the dark. A nurse pulls an injured man behind an overturned truck. A teenager shares the last of her water with an elderly couple she has never met. A father barricades a collapsed doorway, while others sleep behind him. These are not soldiers. They are not heroes. They are accountants, teachers, delivery drivers, ordinary people stripped down to something ancient and unbreakable inside them. In underground parking lots, in flooded subway tunnels, in the hollow shells of burned buildings, small groups form without leaders, without plans, surviving on instinct alone. There is something in the way they read the system, too fluently, too naturally, as though the connection between them runs deeper than anyone could possibly understand. Amid the screaming crowds and crumbling streets, the camera drifts, almost deliberately, toward a single figure standing completely still in the chaos. No panic, no confusion, no desperation. They move with the kind of calm that does not come from ignorance. It comes from preparation, methodically checking gear with practiced hands, eyes scanning the glowing system interface overhead, not with fear, but with focused, almost hungry recognition. When their gaze shifts to the monsters tearing through the city, there is no horror in their expression, only calculation, only assessment. Who is this person? While the world collapses around them, they look like someone who has been waiting, someone who expected this moment long before the sky ever cracked open. And it has only just begun. Hold that image. Let it settle into you. A city that woke up this morning full of life, full of noise, full of people who had plans, who had families, who had futures, now reduced to this. Every district consumed by fire, every skyline fractured beyond recognition. The streets below, once crowded with the ordinary beautiful chaos of human life, now belong to something else entirely. The system interface burns across that blood-red sky like a wound that refuses to close. A scar carved into the heavens by something that does not negotiate, does not explain, and does not care. Down in the shadows, the survivors hold their breath. The camera drifts downward, slow and deliberate, descending through smoke and silence like a ghost returning to haunt familiar ground. What were once busy sidewalks are now graveyards of ordinary life. A child's backpack torn open, its contents scattered across broken asphalt. A coffee cup still steaming beside a shattered storefront window. And there, mounted on a crumbling wall, a flickering screen still faithfully broadcasting the morning news, a smiling anchor reporting traffic delays that no longer matter to anyone alive. This is what collapse truly looks like. Not the dramatic explosions or the roaring monsters. It is the coffee going cold, the unread messages, the ordinary moments frozen mid-sentence by something incomprehensible. Civilization is not a fortress. It is a habit, a collective agreement held together by routine and trust. And in a single morning without negotiation or warning, that agreement was shattered beyond recognition. Survival begins now, and perhaps something far greater than survival begins with it. The devastated city sprawling endlessly below. Fires burn in every district. Shadows move through the broken streets. The world has already lost, but they have not. A quiet gesture, a flicker of light, and a personal interface blooms into existence, visible only to them. The real story has only just begun. Below, the ruined city stretches endlessly, broken, burning, and beautiful in its devastation. The red sky deepens, shifting from crimson to something darker, something that feels permanent. Then the system interface pulses one final time across the horizon, those two words blazing with cold, indifferent clarity. Scenario 1. Survive. No countdown, no instructions, just the weight of everything those words carry. The narration settles into a quiet, measured tone. Civilizations are not destroyed in centuries anymore. They fall in a single morning. Humanity had built skyscrapers to touch the heavens, and the heavens answered back. The protagonist stands motionless against the chaos below, a single point of stillness in a shattered world. The world as it was known is gone. What comes next will be written in survival, sacrifice, and something far darker.